Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to the Modern Spiritualist. My name is Raheem. Today we're going to take a look at January for you guys. This can be used for your sun, moon, or rising. So if you know your sun sign and it's Aquarius, you're in the right place. If you know your moon and your rising signs, make sure to look for those as well. It will give you more insight into your current situation. What I thought was kind of interesting when I pulled the cards for this spread, I'm doing a Celtic Cross today. I'm using the Albana Weight deck, but almost all of them, with the exception of a few, almost all of them came out like horizontal, which I tend to read in the upright, but it's kind of peculiar how many cards came out that way. And so what I'm kind of feeling from this energy so far is that you kind of have the power to use these cards however you choose. It's kind of like these could go either way. It really depends on your free will and the choices that you make. All in all, really good cards. And I know that your December reading was a little bit dense. And so I'm excited to see what happens for you this month. It feels a little lighter, the energy itself. Not that you're not working on things. I mean, I think obviously you have choices to make. And you have a lot of free will energy that you can direct as you choose. But it mostly looks good. Right out the gate, and your center point, your starting point this month, we have the Nine of Pentacles. I think this is about taking stock of what you have already. I mean, this card can kind of be read as like you're expanding your wealth or you're increasing your resources in some way. But what I'm really getting from this right now is it's kind of like, you've been tending your garden for a while, and now you have an opportunity to look at what you've grown. And so there's a sense of like basking in the glory of what you've made this year, which I think is a great energy to take you into the new year. It feels really stable. It feels a bit quiet, like composed, or like you don't need to express yourself in a particular way. It's like a quiet confidence, like this sense of, okay, I'm in this place, I have these resources, I've grown in these ways, and there's a sense of you really being able to sink into that energy. It feels very calm. Very calm. The whole month feels calm. Crossing the Nine of Pentacles, we have the Devil. Capricorn, Saturnian energy. I mean, what I like about this card is that if you read this from a pre-Judeo-Christian standpoint, this is a very Yule time kind of card. And so, I mean, obviously this is a different holiday season than we've ever experienced before. And I think for some of you, it's actually a nice reprieve. That may not be all of you, but I think some of you are like, oh, this is a quieter year. I don't have to deal with the same things I usually deal with. And so it's a chance to just kind of sink into yourself. I mean, I'm talking about December, which is when I'm doing this reading. And of course, this is for January mostly, but taking into account the fact that Christmas is like next week, as of today, or 10 days from now or something. This is like a Yule time debauchery card, almost. Like, I feel like you have an opportunity here to embrace all these different parts of you. And to like get a little devilish with it. I don't know. This could be like a New Year's celebration. This could be your birthday at the end of January, potentially. For some of you, this could be a new relationship or the deepening of a relationship. Something about this is very sexual. Like, I'm often drawn when I read this card to the chains. That is traditionally read as like being chained by your limiting beliefs or whatever. But this is like, I'm getting like a kinky vibe from this. Like, you have an opportunity to explore sexual kinks with a partner. I think crossing this energy is like, you have this ability to sink into yourself, right? Take stock of what you have, to relax a little, to just ease up on any pressure you may have been feeling recently, and to enjoy what you have. And so these together, it just feels like this ability to sink into your pleasure. And that doesn't have to just be sexual. That can be food, drink, comfort, spa type energy, indulging in things that have no purpose other than to give you pleasure, right? And an aspect of that, I think, is sexuality. So I'm feeling a very particular sexual relationship. And it could just be with yourself, but I think many of you it is a partner. It's like maybe you're exploring your kinks with a partner this month. Yeah, I think you're just exploring your darker side or your sexual side, and embracing yourself in a way that you haven't embraced before, or embracing parts of you, or noticing parts of you that you never noticed before that are kind of on like the unconventional side. And you are Aquarius, you rule innovation and unconventionality, and so this just feels really warm. There's like home and hearth here. There's a sense of maybe this is just you enjoying a quiet month home with your partner, where you're exploring yourselves in new ways. I think for many of you that's what it is. And I'm trying to read into a different kind of situation, but all I'm getting really is you're embracing parts of yourself that you haven't embraced before. I think ultimately is what this is about. And you're able to do that because you have the self-confidence and the grounding to reach out to corners of yourself that you haven't reached out to before. So this is a time to explore yourself and your unique cravings and devilish side in the best way. I mean, there's no caveat here or judgment here. This is all about embracing you, embracing all of you, and enjoying yourself. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Deep past affecting the present. We have the Page of Pentacles. This is growth. This is about growth. Now, kind of staying with our relationship theme, which I think I had for you guys in November as well. So a lot of you are like kind of, I think maybe a few months into dating someone new, or a few months into leveling up your current relationship in some way. I know that some of you had a new relationship, or you were dating someone and then it ended pretty abruptly in December. And this could be someone else, or this could be reclaiming yourself and your own individual sexuality in a way that's like total individual exploration. But that's only for a few of you. I think many of you either have a new relationship, like brand new this month, or a relationship that's like a few months old. And so this is you guys growing something new together. And it's blossomed into the Nine of Pentacles energy. Yeah. This is someone you've been either dating for about 2 months, or you've been deepening your relationship. You've spent the past 2 months deepening your relationship with them. And so it's like, this is where you were at the start of this. Like, oh, we're at the start of something new and great. And this is where you are now, really enjoying the fruits of each other. I mean, the energy is really sexual. It really is. But in a way that's not without commitment and love. Not to say that it's necessarily like a devoted romantic partnership. This could be just friends with benefits, but it's someone you connect with really deeply, or it's just a friendship that you're able to be yourself in a new way, where you're able to divulge something to your platonic friend, divulge unique, kinky things about yourself that you tend to not share with people. And it's like, now you have somebody who can support you in a way that you've never been supported before. That could be true. Um, yeah, yeah. You're in a relationship of some sort with someone who is able to bring out sides of yourself that you've never seen before. I think that's ultimately what's happening. And so the steep pass effect in the present is just the excitement of developing something further, developing a relationship further, and looking back at the beginning and thinking, oh, how wonderful. I mean, this is good. This is really good. Grounding you this month, we have the King of Wands. I mean, this is all about, okay. King of Wands and the Devil, both power cards. This is power dynamic. Some of you are literally exploring BDSM, I think. I mean, this is like bondage, this is dom-sub relationship, things like that, that you're exploring. Because the King of Wands is very passionate, very sexual, and very powerful. And so you may be exploring some sort of dynamic with someone there. This could also be, if this is not about a relationship at all, which I doubt, but if it's not about a relationship at all, this could be some sort of new initiative. Like if this is work, you launched a project recently, maybe about 2 months ago. You're at a point now where you've developed the project. It's not done, but it's in development in such a way that everybody sees the potential of it. It's something innovative, something that has never been done before. And so it's really interesting and intriguing and mysterious and exotic in certain ways. And your foundation, this is the King of Wands. You're kind of heading this project maybe. And it's just going really well. People are trusting your leadership. And yeah, this project is happening for you. And apply this how you see fit. If this is like a new house, maybe you got a house with a lot of potential, but you needed to work on the house. Like you had to do lawn care, you had to do some construction or some renovation or whatever. You added an artistic flourish to this house or this design in a certain way that no one's ever done before. It's completely unique to you, and you're like the king of your own castle. What else? If this is art, it's like you started a project about 2 months ago. You really like where it's going. You feel really confident. Maybe it's provocative in some way that will be really intriguing to anybody who sees it or experiences it or whoever your audience is. And you're really passionate about it. You have it's an amazing visionary capacity here. Amazing visionary capacity. So regardless of what this is, whether it's a relationship, a project, a performance, a new house, anything you're doing, it's off the wall, exotic, weird, strange, innovative in some way, unconventional, and you're all about it. Like you're just, this is meant for you, whatever this is, and you're feeling really good about it. Crowning you is the Page of Wands. See, with the King and the Page here, what I'm seeing here, again, is some sort of dom-sub relationship, in which someone has all the power, in terms of play, someone has all the power. Or this could be a relationship where like one is significantly older than the other person or something like that. It could be that. I'm not feeling any like imbalance of power in a way that's disruptive. I think this is really just about fun and joy and play and kink. I really do. Page of Wands, what else? You're still in development with whatever this project or relationship is. Basically, this is the potential, or this is your vision, this is what you see. And this is the next step that you're taking. So while you have a ways to go, while you're still in the middle of things, you're taking action. You're being really diligent about when to take the next step. I feel like you guys are moving quickly, but it's not like maniacally. You're moving, you just keep putting one foot in front of the other. You keep taking the next step. You're being really diligent. I think you're really confident about where you're at, so I don't feel a lot of like need to be farther down the road or like need to be elsewhere. I feel like you're having so much fun that you like where you're at, and you're just taking step after step, holding that vision in your mind, okay? Again, this is about passion. This is about expression. Yeah, really exciting. Something really igniting. I mean, new circumstance, we have the Hermit. Interesting. Okay. So something's going to come to light this month. You're going to kind of have like an illumination of sort. This could also be a relationship with a Virgo. But you're having some sort of epiphany moment this month, as told by the lantern in the Hermit's hand, right? I think many of you guys have been very closed off, like your heart has been closed off for a long time to either someone or just in general, or there's been a sense of not wanting to be vulnerable. And I think you're starting to melt a bit. Yeah, I feel something warming up in you. I feel an opening. And what's nice about this is not only are you opening up to someone or something, even if it's just your passion project or whatever, in a new way, but you still have a really solid sense of individuality. Like, I think what you're realizing is, this may be the realization or something along these lines, I think what you're realizing is that you can still be you and free and liberated and unconventional and, you know, everything that you are, all the perceived flaws, all the things that you've been worried about in the past in terms of showing up in a relationship, like, oh, I'm too weird, or oh, this is too strange, or oh, they'll never be able to compromise on this, or anything like that. I feel like you're starting to unravel that story and realizing that you can be exactly what you are. You can take all the space and time for yourself that you need. You can be as weird as you want to, as unconventional as you want to, as free and liberated and individualistic as you want to, and you can still let someone in. Like, both of those things can be true, okay? Someone or something. You can do both. You don't have to commit to one or the other. You can do both. You can be the individual that you are, maybe just the introverted person that you are, or the free-spirited person that you are, and you can still be in dynamic with someone who's not going to control you, who's going to help bring out like the kinky, unconventional side of you, who's not going to judge you for it, who's going to love you for it, and they may still just give you the space that you need to just be yourself, independently of anyone else. You know, both can be true. If this is a project of some sort, it's just like you can get weird with it. You can put all of you, like yourself, into this project exactly as you are, and that's exactly what this project needs. So this is about just being yourself without shame, being completely yourself in your power, in your individuality, in your unique genius that is you, okay? Yeah. Your ego this month, we have the Six of Swords. You're just moving towards something better. You're moving into calmer waters. I'm reading this card very conventionally, where you're moving into a cycle that's going to be better for you than the previous one, and it is going to be calmer. There's going to be less baggage, less bullshit, and you're ready for that. You're ready for that, and I think there's a feeling of like, you feel really settled. Like, sometimes we can go into a new cycle and be like, oh shit, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not feeling this from you. I'm feeling like you're really, really prepared to take this next leg of your journey on. And you're so ready for it that it's not even a question in your mind. You're just like, let's go. You know? You're really settled into yourself and your own rhythm and timing, and it's really good to see. Because I struggle with that. I'm a Capricorn, and I'm just like, what? Why don't you want to be over there? Like, and you're great with where you're at, and that's awesome. Okay. Environment, we have the Six of Cups. Again, I mean, this is spending time with family, maybe. Spending time with loved ones, old friends. New friends too, but people that you've known for a really long time, specifically, usually. Feeling like a kid again, almost. I think with the freedom that you're feeling, there is that sense of like, you just feel like a kid again. But this is your environment, so this is you spending time with people that you love. Whether it's your partner, or family, or friends. yeah, I mean, I pulled the Hermit here, so you are going to take time for yourself at some point, but I think for the most part, you're a bit social this month. Even if it's just like Zoom calls and phone calls and whatever. I think you're really reaching out to your social corner right now because it feels like you're in this place where you can be a little more visible, and it's not at the detriment of your own time and energy and individuality, right? So there's a balance here, really good balance, even if you're more social this month than usual, maybe. Um, it's like it's all welcome to you right now. Hopes and fears with the Emperor reversed. Just watch out for any control dramas. Now, this could be you, especially if this is a romantic relationship. This could be you trying to control the outcome or control the other person. Not necessarily trying, but like having the story come up of like wanting to, or just kind of feeling the impulse maybe, or something like that. Especially if you're the older one, like this could just be you like wanting to control things or being afraid of the fact that you might want to, or afraid of your own control story or something like that. The other possibility is the other person. Maybe it's just, yeah, I think mostly it's the other person. For many of you, it's like the fear of not wanting to be controlled, and this kind of goes back to the Hermit and the Devil energy, which is all about embracing you and your individuality and your uniqueness and who you are, and not being chained down by anyone or anything. And so I think this is just kind of a really natural fear that you might have because you're Aquarius and you are the individual, a natural fear that you might have of being controlled or tied down or restricted in some way. Guys, I think this is just a fear. Obviously, look out for that in the partner, but mostly what I'm feeling from this partner is they're okay with letting you do your thing, right? So what you're going to want to go for is this balance of power between you two, and make sure that you voice anything or air anything that you feel like you need to. Like if your fear is, I don't want to be controlled, I like my freedom, I don't, there's certain things that I don't want to do with you, meaning your partner, because it's not for me. Make sure to just speak up and voice those things so that you guys are on the same page. I think it's mostly just important that you guys be on the same page, because I think that will dispel any of your fears. Communication is really, really key here. We don't have any swords here, so no, we do have the Six of Swords, but still, it's not a lot of swords. So maybe communication won't come the most naturally to you in this month, but it's something to at least think about. Like, what is the fear around control, like controlling or being controlled, and how can you dispel that in the relationship, the work project, or whatever, the collaboration? How can you dispel it, or how do you just get to the bottom of the fear in your own field? Because it could just be a way for you to not get closer to someone. And you have the Hermit, right? If it feels like it's hard for you to get closer to someone and you're really wanting to break that barrier down, the root of it may just be this fear of being controlled in some way. And so it's hard for me to read into, to be honest. I think because I think because it's something in you that's been repressed for a really long time. And so, because I'm feeling it in my stomach in particular, I think there's just this sense, there's a really old story that is trying to get your attention, that has to do with control or authority or rules or structure, or anything that feels really restricting. But for whatever reason, it's something in you that you've really repressed or tried to ignore or avoid. So it might just be trying to get your attention. It could just be some sort of like inner wounded child who has a concern. And they're trying to keep you safe, but they also may be keeping you in a place where you can't open your heart or move forward because they're afraid. Something in you is afraid. And so it may just be a matter of, instead of trying to ignore it or stuff it down deeper and proceed as usual, it may just be asking that inner child what they need. And I can help you do that work. So if you feel like this is really important and you don't know how to access it, please contact me. I mean, schedule something with me because we can unravel that together. But it really feels old. It feels like an old energy or an old hang-up that's impacting your present moment, but I think the present moment is saying that this relationship is on good, firm ground, and that you'll get the freedom that you need from it. And so it's, it's just a fear to monitor and to not buy into too much, while also not rejecting it to the point that it just sinks back down into your subconscious baggage, because it's just going to come up later again. You know what I mean? You'll keep manifesting a situation that brings it up until you deal with it. So try to give it what it needs without listening to the voice that's telling you not to develop this relationship deeper, because this is a good relationship for you. Okay, outcome. We have the Hanged Man. New perspective. And we have that with the Hermit as well. There's a bit of a mirror here. You're going to come out of this month I don't want to say feeling like a new person, but it's kind of like you've taken a story or an expectation or an idea about yourself and specifically your relationship with others, and you flipped it on its head. And so it's like you're looking at things completely differently. It's still, like, I'm still getting this sense of like there's this unconventionality aspect that keeps popping up. For many of you, it has to do with sex. That won't be true for all of you, but this could be like choosing to explore polyamory or an open relationship, or again, like this is extreme in some people's viewpoints, but even if it's like a slave master type of sexual dynamic, or which could be really interesting, and that could be why the control fear is coming up, because it's like you want to explore this aspect of yourself. That's definitely true for one of you. It's like you want to explore this like dom sub kink aspect of yourself, but it's freaking you out because of something coming up in your past. And so it may feel like it's limiting you or inhibiting you from exploring what you really want to explore. So I'd like to help you unravel that if that's you. What else? Okay, back to the Hanged Man. For some of you, this could even be... Oh, yeah, because this was kind of coming up when I pulled the Devil, but I wasn't quite getting a handle on what it was trying to tell me. But it's like, I often read the Devil very differently than many people do. I mean, like, many people view this as like a bad card, and I don't. Maybe that's just because it's a Capricorn energy, and I'm a Capricorn. And so I see things... I just see things in this card that tend to not be read by most readers. So what kept coming up was this, like, I don't even want to say pagan because it's too vague, or it's too specific maybe. There's this sense of like, maybe some of you have Judeo-Christian background, and so this Devil card is expanding your mind because, whether it has to do with sex or just your belief system or the provocative project that you're on or whatever, there's a sense of needing to unravel this story around bad versus good, or heaven versus hell, or like what is sinful, or things of that nature. Because when you're exploring kink and taboo, even if you don't have Judeo-Christian background at all and you've never been taught that way, shame or judgment can sneak through the back door, because the Judeo-Christian story is in the collective consciousness. So we're all affected by it to a certain degree, even if we haven't been directly taught it. And so for some of you, whether it's because you have that background or because those, disruptive narratives are sneaking through the back door in certain ways, I think you have an opportunity here to unravel beliefs surrounding the universe, God, what you believe in right now, what you would like to believe in, your ideas about those things, maybe the cultural implications and how they've impacted you. And some of you will be able to get to this really deep new perspective through sex. And for those of you that this isn't about sex at all, it's about embracing the parts of you that may be told from the outside. It's like shadowy stuff that may be told from the outside that it's sinful or evil or sinister or taboo or dark in some way, or just not easily understood. And you're coming in with this perspective of like, this is me, this is all of me, I love all of it, and there's nothing wrong with it, right? And so you're really unraveling these judgment and shame stories, I think. And it's not even like I felt a lot of shame come up. And so I think for many of you, it really is this sneaky backdoor thing where on the surface, you don't think anything bad about what you're exploring. And underneath the surface, there's this weird energy that needs to be addressed. And I felt it in the Emperor too. There's just this weird energy of, what if this is bad? What if this is sinful? What if this is shameful? And because you're Aquarius, because you're an air sign, I don't think you're letting it get to the feelings too deeply. Like there's a separation between what you believe and what you're feeling. But what you're feeling is more of an ancestral or collective or just an old childhood story that needs to be unraveled so that you can be more liberated, so that you can feel more free, so that you can help change the cultural story in such a way that, years from now, a generation from now, these kinds of negative, false stories around sex or unconventionality of any kind, or what we consider to be taboo, stop fitting this narrative in a way that's harmful to us as a society. I mean, this is really about liberation and freedom and innovation and new ideas and beliefs. And I mean, that's totally your ball game. So there's a lot of potential here. There's a potential to help clean collective story if you decide to do this work with yourself, if you go this deeply. And some of you may not go that deeply, and that's fine too. I think either way, you end up at the end of the month feeling different or having a different perspective about your relationship with other people, or your relationships in general, and how they relate to you as an individual. But there's powerful potential here for those of you that are a little more metaphysically inclined to really change the game, at least within yourself. And so that's that's a really deep thing that I just said. So enjoy yourself, enjoy the month. You're smart, keep it weird, keep it chill. And I hope you guys have a good January, especially those of you that are, exploring this relationship in new ways. Seems really exciting and fun. And I think that's all I have for you. So go ahead and give this video a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see the next Aquarius video. As always, if you'd like to schedule a private reading with me, please do so in the box below. And I will see you guys in February. Love you guys. Bye.